How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And, I give Imagineering a hard time. And sometimes I feel bad about it. But then I play stuff like this. And then I realized that Gary Kitchen had a hand in this. And that infuriates me ever so slightly. Because Gary Kitchen built a career off the back of some work he did with Activision. And Keystone Capers was alright, but Keystone Capers wasn't groundbreaking, bruh. But here we are. And what we're left with is today's game. It's a proto survival horror title. Something that we would see more of as time goes on until we got to stuff like Clock Tower or later on after that Resident Evil. But it's trying to do a thing, and I appreciate that. I applaud it. But we gonna talk about some of the problems this game got in a sec, cause it's a lot of problems. There's buku problems with this game. It's from 1992. It was published by Electro Brain, and Electro Brain didn't have the best track record, but it's whatever at this point. Today, we're gonna take a quick look at Ghoul School. Now, my problem with Ghoul School, well, one of my problems. First of all, the high school is called Ghoul School High. That is the most generic name for a high school. The most cliched generic name for a high school ever. It's so bad. But that's what they did to us. That's what they wanted us to have. And this is what we are. You play as a high school student by the name of Spike O'Hara. Spike, on October 29th, decides to cut through a cemetery on his way home from school. And he comes across a glowing skull in the cemetery. Rather than Spike leave that skull where it's at, which would be the smart thing to do, clearly the boy ain't smart, because he brought it home. He put it in his backpack and said, hey, I'm going to bring this to my anatomy teacher. He brings it to his anatomy teacher the next day. The anatomy teacher's name is Dr. Femur. Bruh. The band name is Femur. And Dr. Femur asks if he can keep it for himself to do some research. Spike goes, and keeps it moving. The skull starts to grow. It starts to double and triple in size. And eventually turns everyone in the school into some sort of demon. Then sends those demons to go about and kidnap the head cheerleader who wasn't turned into a demon, Samantha Pom Pom. And Spike, who hasn't been turned into a demon, is charged with rescuing Samantha and defeating these demons. It is so cliche and so generic, but here we are. Ghoul School had great ideas in place. It's a big game set in one place, a high school. There are some monsters and demons there for him to fight. A good variety of weapons, stuff like that. It's actually full of good ideas. But the execution, like most instances involving Imagineering, the execution was absolutely abysmal. The hit detection is some of the worst on the NES, and that's even considering some stuff that was unlicensed. Now, is this better than Pesterminator? Yes. Is it worse than Mega Man 2? Oh, absolutely. Is it on the wrong side of mediocre? Yep. Like I said, though, good ideas here. A great variety of weapons. You got the whole thing with the suction cup shoes and spring shoes to make you jump high or walk on ceilings. There's a interesting little thing where there's like a dead body under a bench in the gym. If you make contact with that dead body, you instantly die. Stuff like that. It's cool little stuff like that. The fact that a wet towel is a weapon in this game, and you find it in the high school in the gym bathroom, in the locker room. That's a cool touch. But the execution is dreadful. It's really, 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 really bad. One of the cooler parts of this game, there's the soundtrack, which ain't bad, and the ending is really funny. You rescue Samantha Pom Pom, and while you're standing there watching the school turn back to normal, she takes like a step away from you, as if to say, you know, I appreciate you rescuing me, but that don't mean I'ma be your lady. You know? Spike must have smelled funny or something, I don't know. But yeah, man, Ghoul School had good ideas. The execution's just awful, though. I don't know. Buyer beware, baby. Buyer beware. Now, if you decide you want a copy of Ghoul School, let me tell you. Don't go buy this. This game started at $50. Loose cart prices are start at $50. I don't understand it. And I blame a lot of resellers for manipulating prices at this point. I'm not trying to sugarcoat that. It's the reseller's fault. If you on eBay and you make your living flipping NES games and you're jacking up prices and making stuff weird for everybody else, and you're charging over $50 for a loose cart of this, you're not a good person. There are some other things I'd like to say, but I don't want my channel getting a strike. So no. But you're a bad person. So do better, bro. Cause this game ain't good at all. $50 for a copy of Ghoul School. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Tell your mama on you. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.
8-Bit Animal.
Tomorrow, Game Design 101. Why build doors if you're going to let a character walk through walls?